Hiya folks, welcome to Hammerting. This is a game I've been playing obsessively for the last few weeks, and I was starting to get a bit bored of it, so I thought let's do a YouTube video on it, and that'll make it more fun to play. And yeah, hopefully you can get some enjoyment from watching me play it. If not, at least I'm having fun. So this is kind of like a 2.5D Dwarf Fortress clone type game. It's several years old now. I think it stopped getting. I think it got abandoned near the end of it, early access, but it still holds up. I've not found anything like game breaking bugs or any like obviously missing features. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've not found this particular combination of um, layout and game genre in another game. So yeah, let's just get started and I'll show you how it goes on the way. Um, I'm just going to take the standard colony name. We're going to take a mountain name. We're going to make that, let's make it O for opting out. That's a capital O for Oscar. Um, yeah, and press enter to make that. We're going to go for a large mountain in overall size and a very hard enemy difficulty, um, because yeah, I found it's more fun that after. It took me a while to figure out how to survive on this difficulty, but now that I have, I find it quite rewarding. So yeah, let's get started. Here we are. We are playing. We've got three dwarfs. We start with three dwarfs. Um, we are at the entrance of a mountain. We do have an overworld. There's a map, or there's a button up top left that we can click. Let's have a look. So yeah, here we go. So there's Kerrybridge is the only town on the overworld we have access to. We can buy stuff from them. We can sell stuff to them. We don't really have anything to sell them, and we probably want to save our money for now, so we're probably not going to be buying much from them yet. But that'll come in time. For now, let's take a look at our dwarves. So, like pretty much any colony sim, which is character focused like this, all of our dwarves have stats and they have professions. The equipment system in this game is quite cool and unique. Each dwarf has a tool belt with three tools on it, and depending on what tools they have equipped, it affects what job they can do. So all of our dwarves start with a hammer that can be used for metalworking and building, a pickaxe which can be used for mining and stoneworking, and an axe which is just a weapon. So we're always going to keep an axe on all of them because of the difficulty level we're playing on, until maybe later in the game. But yeah, for example, Soma here could not do any tailoring work because they don't have a needle in their tool belt. And in order to allow them to do tailoring, we would have to remove their ability to do one of these other tasks. If they don't have a weapon, they can't fight at all. It doesn't just make them better; it makes them capable of fighting in the first place. So yeah, let's have a look. I'm going to take a quick look through here. The dwarves. We'll talk about the dwarves' needs. We've got some. They've all got stats. That's pretty cool. That Soma here has only positive stats. I mean, technically, the hunger gain minus -0.01 is a negative stat, but as soon as we get farming set up, that'll just not even be a problem anymore because we'll be producing enough food to keep going. Siva here has a mixed trait, a negative trait, and another negative trait, so they're probably not a great dwarf. um, their best skill there is builder. They're also not too bad at mining. Hang on, let me go back to sum up. So they do have the skill level, which is like a skill level. You know how those work. But they've also got their effectiveness, which is their skill level plus the stats that affect that skill, and then they've got another one which is that the same thing plus their tool effectiveness. So yeah, Soma here, I think is good at mining, So at the start of the game, we don't have any metalworking unlocked, we don't have healing unlocked, we don't have cooking or farming unlocked, so we don't want any of those things. My favourite setup is we want someone to explore and do mining and do most of the combat. Uh, so we want an explorer, a builder, and a stonemason. So I'm thinking, because Siba here looks like they should be our builder. That looks like a really good thing for them to be, because they're not very good at fighting, they're not very good at stonemason. Our explorer also has to be good at fighting, because there's a good chance they will get stuck, they will get ambushed while they're exploring and have to fight things on their own, whereas the rest of them will likely only be fighting in a group. So Siba is probably not going to be our explorer. Soma might be. I don't know. We'll see what's Helga's skills. Helga's got a really good exploring skill, but they're also really bad at militia. They're a hypochondriac and they're a coward. So yeah, okay. So this is a really terrible role as far as dwarf traits go. Yeah, that health gain minus 0.01 is really bad, because by default health would it doesn't regen, but it doesn't. But yeah, by default health does just stay static unless you apply medicine. But for Helga here, that health is going to slowly tick down, so they will need medicine even if they don't get into any fights, even if they don't lose any health, they're going to need medicine. So that's kind of awkward. I'm not particularly pleased with that. And they've also got stat debuffs on both of them, and also their morale will go down faster as well. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll live with it. We'll live with it. So what do we want Helga to be doing then? I think we want Helga to be our builder, actually. Yeah, Helga can be our builder. In fact, let's do that. Builder, I don't want it to be any of these things. We only want one person to be doing the exploring, because exploring, we want all the skill XP for exploring to go to one person. So yeah, we'll let them do mining in the back. If there's not stuff to build, they can do some mining in the and then we'll set them so that when we have better tools, they will upgrade to the best tool for building, the best tool for fighting, and the best tool for mining in their tool belt. So that's Helga build. We're going to rename builder. So Siba here is going to be. Siba's really bad at fighting. Soma, are you any good at fighting? You're not great at fighting, but you're better than the rest. You're really bad at exploring. In fact, you're terrible at exploring. Fervor makes them good at fighting and hauling, and Soma here has really good fervor. Yeah, okay, right. So yeah, it doesn't make too much difference. So I think I've changed my mind actually. I think, in fact, no. You know what? Let's just roll with it. Soma is going to be our explorer. Not going to be any of these things. So they're also going to be a miner. They're going to be a miner, a fighter, and an explorer. And then they're also going to build when they have no so the yellow means it's favorited, so they'll do that whenever possible. So they will fight and explore and mine when they can, and if they can't, they will go and do some building or farming or arcaning, whatever you want to call the verb for that. And I'll explain about why I'm leaving farmer and arcanist active later on. And so for this, we definitely want this one to be miner, we definitely want this one to be fighter. We don't want this one to be builder, we want this one to be explorer. which means actually, you know what, we'll deactivate builder altogether, because Soma here is not going to have a tool that allows them to do any building. So Soma Delver. Delver's a good name for an explorer. And then Siva here. Siva has a cool surname already, but we're going to do it. Siva here is not going to do very much. We're going to leave mining and building active. Where are we? Building's active. Arcanist Whitesmith is not active. Trader is going to be a favourite. And Stonemason is also going to be a favourite. So Siva's job is pretty much going to be as our mason. But in the early game, our primary money income is going to be from selling masonry products. So their job will be to be a stonemason and make stuff, materials that are good for building. And then if we've got plenty of building materials already made, they can then make some more building materials for export and then go and sell them for money. Because they like money, yeah. So we've got some stuff that we can build. We've got background bricks, which are cosmetic, bricks which are like they're like blocks. They're basically a terraforming option. Scaffolding stairs, which are good for getting for bridging gaps and climbing up walls and stuff. Stone chests, which are good to store stuff, but we can't build yet because we can't make copper ingots. And the only other building we can build, the only productive building we can build, is a small quarry. So let's just build one of those. Helga the Builder will probably build that, and while they're getting on with building that, let's get Soma the Delver to go explore. We'll open up these little collectible thingy-majigs. Soma should be the one to go and pick those up. Actually, Soma, don't do that yet. Yeah, okay, right, okay. You've changed your mind and you're going to go and get your equipment sorted out. So now they know Soma here no longer has that hammer. They now have a lantern, which improves their movement speed and vision range, which is good because they're an explorer. And what did we get out here? A bit of wood, a bit of cabbage for food, a bit of bacon of boar, which is also edible. Yeah, cool, okay. We start with only a very small amount of food and water and medicine, so the early game is very much going to be about getting our own supplies of those things. But yeah, let's just go exploring, see what we can find, see if there's anything interesting. A big part of this game is exploring. So here's some mushrooms. They're not finished growing yet, but I'm going to right click, and then when they are grown, they will get harvested. And that's why I left farming active on Soma, because Soma's got the best movement speed and is also the best one to fight on their own. If anyone's going to leave our base to come and harvest these mushrooms, I want it to be Soma. And the same for these mushrooms, these mushrooms, these mushrooms. These ones are actually fully grown, so they'll get harvested immediately. And one of the first things we're going to unlock is the farming technology, which will allow us to grow these ourselves, and that'll secure a food supply for us. But yeah, we want to explore down here. I think, so dwarves can climb up and down sheer walls, but they can't climb over overhangs. They can also jump very high, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, they can get down to Soma will be able to get down to harvest that mushroom. So we'll let them harvest these small mushrooms, and then we'll send them down to do this one. I don't think, yeah, they can't, so they can jump, I think 4 or 5 tiles high, but they can't jump all the way down there. If we do that, it's going to be red. No one can access that. So they're going to harvest this. I want to see, yes, okay, so later on, probably a couple of episodes from now, we're going to get the ability to grow these citadel mushrooms. That lets us farm wood to turn into charcoal, which is really good for all of our metal working purposes, and cooking and stuff as well. But the mushrooms themselves only have a small chance to drop the spores, Like in previous games, I've harvested like 15 mushrooms and not found any spores, but we've found some on our first mushroom, which is great. Although they have fallen down there and are inaccessible until we build some scaffolding to go in there to get that. But that's fine. We don't need them that quickly anyway. But yeah, let's just open this up and explore like right up to the edge. Actually, Soma here has reached level 5. Every 5 levels they get a talent point, and I want to give Soma the one that increases their vision range, because I want to make sure that, like, right now, if we look at Soma's vision range, 28, but if we look at one of the other ones, 9.75, 13.25. So the longer we go, the more awareness we get to Soma, the more explorer levels, the more talents that give us vision range, the further that's going to be, and the further they're going to be able to see. So now they can see all the way down here. Like if they're walking along here, you see how this kind of edge of the darkness, on their way back, they're probably going to explore a bit of that edge of the darkness and see a bit further. And that's important because exploring stuff is really, like, see, we just found this grotto. We got 4 mountain lore for that, and that's one of the 2 technology points that we can unlock, and it's really important. And the only way to really get that is by completing missions and exploring and finding stuff. We get a small trickle from just uncovering squares, like maybe like 1 point per 100 squares or something like that. But then we get like chunks of mountain lore from finding stuff like a grotto. The grotto doesn't actually do anything, it just sits there and looks pretty. But when you find it, you get points. It also blocks buildings, so it's like a terrain feature essentially. We got a copper ore from that from that minecart. But yeah, okay, so we've explored about as far as we can get in this direction. We could, in theory, build some stairs down here and then explore this little cave, but that's fine. Or I mean, we could go and mine out. We could like dig up to here and explore in here, but that's fine. We've got all the low hanging fruit in this direction. Let's go back in here. Let's send Soma in the other direction, see what we can find. Like, we don't really need to go mining and building stairs and all that to get more yet. We really just want to get an initial amount of mountain lore so we can buy some technology. So our small quarry is finished. Let's use Sibba the Mason. You can go in there and mine out some granite chunks, and as soon as your first granite chunk comes out, oh man, that's so slow. So skill levels and character levels come really quickly in this game, but at the very start that was very slow. But as soon as the first chunk is done, there we go, we now have the ability to, oh, that's too many. I was holding down control instead of shift, so yeah, we only want like 10 of each of those, and then 20 granite pillars. Actually no, 5 granite pillars is fine for this one. I'll explain why that is in a second. But yeah, that allows us to grab some. We're going to need all those materials later on to build our base. And when I say later on, I mean like in about 5 minutes. So yeah, Soma, you can just keep exploring. You can harvest this set of the mushroom. See, that one didn't drop any spores. So luckily we've got those spores at the other end waiting there. And as long as we've got one set of spores, then we should be good. Oh, that didn't work. I need to go. Need to click one further down in order to do that and explore there. And that's just got 25 mountain lore. I would have liked to have gotten a bit more at the very start, but I think we can live with that. I think that can be okay. We want to go and have a look at the technology tree. The trade lore you get from the overworld by trading stuff and completing missions on the overworld. We don't have any of that yet, but that'll change very quickly, despite the fact that we've got a fair chunk of mountain lore immediately and no trade lore. in the long run, trade lore is much easier to get. We will naturally accumulate loads of that over time. The bottleneck is almost always going to be our mountain lore. So let's get this, which is the foundational structures, gives us some base building stuff. Let's get subterranean farming so that we can grow those mushrooms. It also lets us produce our own water. So when we look at our dwarves, they have 5 needs. Hunger, obviously they need food. Morale, they need drink for. Water will do the job, but later on we'll get better ones. Energy just means they need to sleep, don't we all? They can just sleep on the floor, so that's quite low priority, but later on we'll get places for them to live. Health, obviously, it doesn't deteriorate on its own, apart from that one person with the really bad trait, but that gets recovered by medicine. It doesn't recover on its own either. And then there's also greed. So when greed goes down, they go and take money from your mountain horde, I guess is the game term for it. But basically, you have the amount of money you have as the owner of the colony, and they will take money for their wages or for their greed or whatever. And depending on their level and their traits and everything, the amount of money they'll take will change. As they get more levels, they need more money. So in order to... And it might seem like a little minor thing, but if this gets low, you see how everything's high, so they've got like a nice little bonus status effect from each of them. When it gets low, they get a penalty status effect, and that can actually remove their health as well. That can reduce their health. So like literally, if they can't get money, they can literally die of greed. So you do need to fill all those things. And yeah, as we go through, we'll talk about how that's going to be the case. So Soma is done exploring for now. So Siba is making our construction materials. What are we going to make with the construction materials? So because we're playing on the hardest difficulty, the enemies are really tough, and all of our weapons are these like grandfather copper hatchet axes, which are terrible. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted. I've got a bird feeder outside my window, and the pigeons keep coming and eating the seed. Then occasionally a seagull comes and like bullies them out of the way. I always want to chase the seagulls off for being mean. Yeah, okay. What was I saying? Yeah. So these weapons are terrible. If we look for that, they've got a minus 50% malice to every stat, and a minus 90% to preciousness. Yeah, so they're just really bad. If you remember when we looked at, well, maybe I didn't even show you it, but every enemy, because of the very hard difficulty, has like a +4 protection from all damage types. So that basically means that these weapons will do a maximum of 0.08 crushing damage and like 5 slashing damage. So yeah, where I was going with that is, in order for us to really survive, we kind of have to make it so that enemies, ideally we want to make it so that enemies can't attack us. Enemies will spawn in the grey area which we can't see, and run to attack our dwarves and our buildings. So in order to survive, we want to manage that vision radius, and also manage the ability to come into it. So I think to start with, so all these production buildings have a vision range, right? By generally it's +15. So I want to build another stone one here. And I'll say why a stone one later on, but I want to do that just so we can push this vision range out a bit, because we're going to block off everything down in this direction. but I don't want to do it. I want to do it in a way that allows us to access all this coal and copper, because we're going to need that later on. And then on this side, this is where we're going to plan to have our actual base. We're going to extend. We're going to extend our entrance hall all the way along to maybe here, and then we're going to have a staircase going up and down, and our base is going to be built vertically. And you'll see what I mean as we go. So for that, we're going to use these little stone bridges. They're 4 wide. If we go to here, I want to start in fact, let's just start here for now. I want to maintain access down here for now. I don't want to. I want them to still be able to travel down here even once we built these bridges. And yeah, let's go over just a little bit further actually to here. I've got a plan. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is actually exactly how wide I want this side of the base to be. Then a staircase, and then more stuff on the other side. The reason for that is the widest production building in the game, as far as I'm aware, is just shy of 7 bridges wide, and then the dwellings where our dwarves live are exactly 3 bridges wide. So if we want to have the biggest production building for a worker, and then have them live next to their workplace, 10 is the width that I want to go for. And it also confers other benefits. There's also other stuff that we can talk about later on. But yeah, from there, let's just build some stairs. Two sets of stairs down, 2 sets of stairs up. I don't know if that top one actually activated or not, but we'll find out as they get built. And yeah, I'm pretty sure none of this can be built yet. Though this can be. Helga will go and build this. So when you build it like this, it does decide that it wants to mine out all these before it builds. But if your miners don't get there quick enough, it will destroy those blocks. It'll also destroy anything on the back wall, which is where all the resources appear. So you don't really want to auto destroy blocks via construction too often if you can help it. But luckily, Soma is doing this. Let's speed it up a bit, because this is going to take a while. Siba's just going to be sitting here hacking away at the inside of that mason. I keep calling it like a mason shop or whatever, but it's a quarry, I guess. So this is going to be high priority because we always want to maintain our building supplies as much as possible. This is going to be normal priority because this is where this is where I want Siba to work if they've finished stockpiling construction goods in this other one. And then they're going to make 5 granite chunks, but I only care about granite chunks that are stored in this quarry. We want to have 5 of them stored in this specific building, and then the same for 40 granite pillars only in this building. And the reason for that is these granite pillars are going to be reserved for selling. So Siba is going to try and make 20 granite chunks, 10 slabs, 10 etc in our entire base, and then stop working in this one. And then they're going to go over here and make granite pillars and then go and sell them to whoever is offering the best price. And that should take care of our income, at least until we've got a fairly larger, until our base is much bigger. And that, yeah, right now it seems like that wouldn't really help because everything's happening so slowly, but if we look, Siba is already, they're now a level 2 stonemason, but that's going to change quickly. They've also reached level 5, so let's give them this one. I want to give them their trader ones first, and because the stonemason perk is gated behind research, and it's going to be a while till we have that research. So I'm just going to queue up like, I guess that's 70 levels worth of perks. So we won't have to worry about that for a while. And we've had our first attack. Here is a slime. A slime has 6 crushing damage protection and no other protection. Does 25 damage. Has 40 health. These aren't particularly tough, but there is a king slime version which is tough. So yeah, I'll just say we want to fight those. All of our dwarves will come to fight them. And yeah, Sibba here, just from that fight, has lost like 400 health from 2 not particularly tough enemies. We only have 5 causes in here that restore 350 health each, so that's a fifth of our medicine gone just from that fight. So as you can imagine, I'm not particularly keen on doing too much fighting until we have a supply of medicine set up. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to get these bricks. We're just going to make a little blocker. I mentioned earlier that they can climb up sheer walls like that, but they can't climb up walls with a gap in them as easily. So having just two blocks kind of above each other but not connected makes it, I'll put them on high priority as well, means that that's going to block off everything, and when they're built you'll be able to see that this interact symbol turns red. All the enemies have the same movement rules as dwarfs, so if we've blocked it so our dwarves can't reach, then that means we've also blocked it so that our enemies can't reach over it. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to queue up some of them. The little star on them means that it matches one of the professions that they have favourited, so you can't go wrong if you just double click all of them to queue them up. And yeah, we're kind of stuck because we're waiting for Sibba to do their thing. It might take a while. We do still have a few. Oh no, we've now used up all of our blocks. I guess they took all the blocks to these staircases. So yeah, this is going to take a while to build. While we're waiting, let's do some mining, I guess. Let's mine out all this stuff. They can only reach 4 high, so they're only going to get up to like here, I think. Some of that coal is falling outside of where we'll be able to access, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We won't need that much, and we'll find more as we expand our base as well. Yeah. So, did you just deliver? Okay, so I guess they're gonna take all those granite chunks out of here and move them there. Helga's gonna do that. Helga the builder. Why? I don't know why you would choose to do that, but okay, it's fine. It's fine. We'll live with it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually reconsidering that. Oh, some of the mushrooms have grown. I'm actually reconsidering that. I think we might want to not mine this out. We want to prep for. We want to mine out down here, I think, because this is where our farm is going to be. So let's mine out like here. In fact, I'll just mine out the whole lot down to here, all the way to the end, and hopefully not get stranded. I'm not particularly hopeful. That was a lie, but yeah, ideally we wouldn't get anyone falling down into this giant hole, because who knows what's down there? Who knows? Like, hopefully we don't find out. I mean, it would be good for our mountain lore because we would explore a lot, but getting our dwarves back up to where they need to be would be a bit of a pain. I'm pretty sure Soma is going to either fall into this hole or strand themselves on this side of that. So let's just cancel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that should do the job. That should stop that from happening. We also want to do this. This is why I'm mining it out rather than just building stuff straight in this gap, because as we mine out the blocks in the foreground, we uncover resources in the background which are useful and valuable, and we want them, please. Yeah, and we'll mine out here, because as we finish these staircases and finish building stuff here, I want to close up this gap, just so that we can have all our enemies attack from this one direction. We can build some tough doors that stop them from attacking. I mean, ideally we want this. What's happening here? Okay, let's move that block of granite up a bit, because I would like to have this done. Yeah. And it won't stop the attacks quite yet, because we still have unexplored stuff down here. Every time they move away from here, this is going to go grey, but we're going to fix that fairly soon. So don't you worry too much about that. And yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure if we go like this, yeah, we can't get to this side anymore. That means no attacks from this side, and we've stopped that before the kind of vision range runs out. So no attacks from that direction. Probably some attacks from this little area here, but as soon as we've built our farm, that should stop being a thing. Speaking of doing that, do we want to? Yeah, okay, we're not going to do what I was about to say yet. The farm works by how we make fertile soil blocks and then sow mushrooms on top of it. How much food do we still have? Maybe we want to do... Yeah, we still have enough food. I think we're okay for a little while. I think we're going to run out of water quicker, so ideally I would like this little area, because this is where I want to build the farm. Like the fertile soil is going to go along here. Oh, there's a little bunny. Let's kill it. There's some meat. We can't eat raw meat, but we can cook it later on. So yeah, always murder innocent animals if you get the chance. In the game, not in real life, please. Be responsible. And yeah, so yeah, Helga our builder will build a few of these. I don't know if we even... I think we might have... Okay, yeah, no. So I thought there's no little exclamation mark on this, which means that we do have access to mushrooms from this tile. I was a little worried that we'd blocked off all the mushrooms on the other side of this bit, but apparently we found some down here or something. So hopefully we'll get some mushrooms planted. As long as we get one mushroom planted, then over time those will expand out. But yeah, our miners are pretty effective. They're getting through there, even though their tools are terrible, even though their skills are still pretty terrible. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, four swings to do dirt. Dirt has a mining difficulty of 15. Like if we were mining through, let's see if I can find some. If we were mining through granite, that's got 40. So that would take nearly triple the amount of swings. Yeah, these enemies are so tough. Yeah, like the granite is 60. The coal's probably less than not granite. Copper was 60. Coal's 100. I was expecting coal to be less than copper, but yeah, okay. Yeah, once we get further down into the map, we'll unlock other biomes with different types of stone, which have even more difficulty and more resources. Like there's some iron. I think iron's like 250. So it would take them all day at their current rate to mine out just a tile of iron. So yeah, I'm gonna do some cancelling of digging like here, because I think our farm, I think that's as wide as we need the farm. Yeah, we'll cancel here as well because we only need this much width for the farm. Uh, so we want to mine this bit out as quickly as possible so we can build the farm. Partly because we want to start using the farm to make water and stuff, and partly because we want to use the farm for its vision range to eliminate the enemy spawns in this area. I think we might still end up with a little bit in between, but we can just chuck like a sacrificial small quarry down in that area just for the vision range, not even to produce anything. That's weird that they can mine through the bridge. I didn't know they could do that. But well, yeah. Keep mining, please. Please, yeah. Do your thing. Yeah. What else? What else should we talk about? Okay, so hang on. Before we do anything else, it looks like Siba has filled up this, and then they started making granite pillars. So I think right now, are they off? Yeah, they've got 6 granite pillars in their backpack. That must be some backpack. But they're off to sell granite pillars on the overworld, and I guess they've done that a couple of times because we now have 7, like nearly 8 silver. However, our limit of silver is currently 5 right now until we can build better buildings to store that. So all we're going to do there, I'm going to buy some medicine. I'm going to buy, what else, lichen maybe? I want to take this back down under 5. Let's buy some lumber actually, because we can't, in fact, I should have just bought 1 because it spawns a mission which is to buy 5 lumber. It also, yeah, let's do that actually. While we might as well deliver them some granite chunks and blocks of granite because we're making them anyway. We'll accept the mission for the lantern. We can't make lanterns yet. We have to unlock blacksmithing for that. But we'll buy. Yeah, okay, we're back down to 2 silver, so we might as well not buy anything more for the moment. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and just buy random stuff every now and again as needed to. If we've got the money, we might as well, because once we go over our limit, the money just starts to like decay and disappear, and yeah, we might as well spend it at that point, right? So yeah, the stairs and the bridges and stuff, I'm happy to build them like in solid ground because they don't just. Helga, what are you doing? Why are you running into the wall? Where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to go? Hauling items to small quarry. You're trying to get like. Okay, I've never seen that before. I don't know why they're doing that. Helga, go here. Right, okay, so I guess they were trying to pick up this granite chunk and it was stuck in the wall or something, but that's fine. That seemed to snap them out of it, so good enough for me. I really want this to be finished mining. Please finish mining this so we can build our farm because we're out of drink. It's not immediately a problem because the bars take quite a while. The thirst bars take, well, I guess it's morale, but it takes quite a while for them to reach 0. So we'll probably be fine, but sooner is better. Soma, you're stuck now, but you'll let go of that. You'll fall down in a second. There you go. You didn't fall and get hurt. You just fell and decided that it was time for a nap. Okay, fair enough. I mean, you do you. Yeah. Nowhere better for a nap than directly below an active mining zone. Just like peppered with bits of copper ore from the ceiling. Yeah, okay, cave farm. Get that. Yeah, okay. One more swing to get rid of that copper, and then let's build that cave farm. Get that in there. and that will solve many of our problems. Not all of our problems, but many of them. Well, so we've got infrastructure, we've got these doors. These doors will probably be something we build fairly soon. Yeah, now that we've got access along here, I want to build more bridges along here. So the bridges and the stairs don't destroy background resources. I think there's some coal behind here you can kind of see. Wait until one of the dwarves comes back along and gives us vision range to make that more colourful. But you can kind of see some, yeah, it makes a little shiny effect. But yeah, so Helga is sleeping inside that building site. Sibba has now made the stuff we need to finish the farm, so we're building farms. Yeah, and then I think Soma is probably, yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so 3 things we could do in farms: bone ash. We're gonna ignore that till later because we don't need that for anything yet. Water, very important. Water doesn't cost anything, but it uses fecundity, which is this bar here. That goes down over time. That goes down by 25 every time we make some water, but it recovers over time slowly. And it also can be recovered by delivering this crushed granite stuff to there. So yeah, we effectively can get infinite water out of this building. There's also the option to store tuncap mushrooms. That sends our farmer out to harvest them from these fields and bring them back to be stored. Then this game's kind of weird because stuff lying on the ground like this doesn't really count as being in your inventory properly. Dwarves won't eat it. Dwarves buildings won't count it towards their production limits. Stuff like that. So ideally, we want the tuncap mushrooms to be in these slots and not lying on the ground. I still haven't seen. I'm surprised that they haven't brought. If they do have access to those mushrooms, how come they haven't planted them yet? Because they get put on high priority by default. So maybe we don't actually have access to them. Maybe we're going to need to open this back up again. Right, let's do that. Let's just mine that out. And then grab some of these to get planted. That's probably what we need to do there. And yeah, so this little bit here is still not seen. It's still out of vision range of our buildings. So yeah, like I said, we're going to just put like a wee sneaky little sacrificial stone quarry in that gap. Because until we've got our medicine production up and running, we just can't afford to be fighting all the time. I heard fighting sounds. Who's fighting? Where are you fighting? What are you fighting? Who? Oh, you're fighting a mushroom folk. Mushroom folk are really tough. I mean, this particular mushroom folk is not particularly tough because it's just the like lowest tier version of that enemy. But they're tougher than those slimes. And the mushroom folk faction have 3 tiers of people, tiers of monsters, and the top tiers are super tough. Oh, there's a mushroom there. Okay, so we can close this back off again. High prioritized. And I think so. Soma does have farming active, so they should go here. Let's high prioritize that. You're stopping and chatting with Sibba here, but presumably hopefully once you've finished chatting, you'll come and do some mining stuff in this building. I guess you're going to plant these first. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, there we go. We're making water again, very very slowly. Soma will have a really bad farming skill. They also don't have a tool that's good that helps them with farming at all. So they're probably going to be quite slow. We don't have the ability to make tools yet. That's probably going to be next on our list. But yeah, we need to get this one done, and once that's done, we have become once this quarry is done, and once this this extra block is done, we will be safe from attack from enemies. For the moment, eventually we'll have to start digging stuff out, and that will take us outside our vision range and open us up to attacks for stuff, but we want to unlock medicine by that point, so we can make our own medicine, so we're not stuck with only, like, I guess we've got 4 bits of gauze now, and we can buy some more. No, we can't, because they're not producing them anymore. They produce things. Yeah, there's no chance that they will produce gauze quickly enough for us to keep fighting enemies, especially on this difficulty level. We do need to be able to produce our own medicine. And yeah, so that's probably going to be next episode. I want to see this done. Okay, so it's getting moved in there. Yeah, okay. So Soma is making water. We've solved our water problem. Oh, we're fighting. Right. Okay. So this also needs to get done. Yeah. So we'll wait for that to be done. Our water problem is solved. Our food problem is going to be solved fairly quickly because we have all these mushrooms growing, and they will get harvested and put into here and be available to be eaten. Our enemy monster problem is now solved because there is nowhere outside of our vision range for enemy waves to spawn anymore. So yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good first episode. We have solved pretty much all the immediate threats to our initial survival. And yeah, next episode we want to have a look at what other techs we can unlock. Probably medicine. We need to unlock dwarven trade relations and medicine. We can afford both of those. In fact, let's do that. Last part of this episode, we'll unlock the techs we're going to use. We now have 14 mountain lore left over and 8 trade lore. I'm thinking metallurgy. That lets us build a foundry, which lets us smelt copper ingots. Copper ingots are what we need for these stone chests, and it also unlocks vaults, which will allow us to store much more money than we currently can. And then we're down to only 10 mountain lore, which is it's enough for cooking, but cooking's, as far as I'm concerned, is much lower priority than other stuff. Like, I would very much like to get blacksmithing because that lets us make our own tools, and even the most basic tools that we can make are like multiple times better, like an order of magnitude better than the starter tools that our dwarves get with them. So we've unlocked the foundry to make bars. We've unlocked the infirmary to make medicine. In fact, we needed the foundry to make that because that uses metal resources. We've unlocked the vaults to store more money. We've also unlocked dwelling, which is like houses for our dwarves, and that's important as well because if we look, the dwarves have a limited amount of money that they can carry with them. If they don't have a dwelling to store their money, they will cap out their pockets, and they won't be able to restore their greed anymore, and that will be a big problem. We've got a bit of time before that's a huge issue, so we're not too worried about that. So yeah, next episode, all that stuff we just unlocked, we'll start incorporating that into our base. We will hopefully see this lack of food thing go away as our mushroom production kind of brings us more mushrooms than we're planting, and maybe we'll hire a 4th dwarf to be our farmer, like a dedicated farmer, and maybe we'll expand our mushroom plantation. Maybe we'll try and do a bit of so I don't want to do any more exploration until we've got a steady supply of medicine. So yeah, that'll be the next episode. Top priority, medicine. Second priority is metal goods and vaults and dwellings and stuff. And yeah, we're going to expand up and down in order to accommodate that. Maybe we'll expand high enough to get into whatever this little cave is and explore enough to get 15 mountain lore in order to unlock blacksmithing and make our own tools. That might be an episode 3 thing, episode 3 or 4. But yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, so this is the third time I've recorded this series. The first time it's been a while since I've done any recording, so the first one my words weren't coming out right because I was out of practice. So I decided to start again, and then the second time my OBS was messed up, and the settings were messed up, and my microphone was off, and I recorded like 6 episodes of this series and one of a different game in the last week, and none of it had any audio from my microphone. I was absolutely raging. I found this out yesterday. So yeah, we're starting again. We're doing it again. So if I'm going a bit fast, then that's why. I mean, I'm not going fast by most people's standards, but I'm a big slow person, so I tend to go very slowly and methodically. So I'm going fast by my standards. That's what's happening. So yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully the audio came out right. Yeah, I'm not recording it again. If it didn't, I'm not recording it again, just so you know. But yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. I had fun with this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.